Hi, everybody. Lux Gray here. This is episode 6 of the Lone Rowsdower. It's been about 5 days or so, and Rowsdower, the Lone Rowsdower, found himself at the front door of Satoris' hideout. Now, he just snuck by a couple of the cultists guarding the door, at least the entrance, and we have to figure out what is going to happen and if this door is even unlocked. Now, I've been saying that this is Satora's hideout. We are clearly uh, very much in a different spot, a different feeling than the actual Final Sacrifice movie that this is based on, a movie riffed by the Mystery Science Theater team. So we're going very much the dark fantasy route, at least the fantasy route. Hasn't been too dark, but I'm okay with this. So to keep things kind of related to the Final Sacrifice, I will be I have a character on standby, a character who was of great significance to the Final Sacrifice movie, but was not in it for a lot of it. This character was in the movie for a very split moment, but was very important to the main character of the film. So, if we have a chance to introduce this character, I will. You will see his name on the sheet here. That's a little note from me. Okay? So let's go to the table and we'll draw a card to see how things go at the front door as Rousdower stands on the welcome mat of Sator's hideout. So remember, we are still using fate. I have not changed systems. It's something I'm very notorious for doing in my videos. Red dice is Rousdower, purple dice is anything against him. We have our 3 fate points, which is actually incorrect. We're going to take one away, but if I recall correctly, Rousdower snuck past those 2 guards, so I will gift him a third temporary fate point. So we'll keep that there. Now, let's begin. We know we're at the location outside. We are in a harbor, and I'm going to draw a card. This card will kind of represent how things are going for Rousdower. How the door might, if the door's locked or not, we'll see. Hopefully we can get several things out of this card. Let's move the fact card away there. All right, so what do we got here? The Penumbra Bobcat. Okay, so something wild. It's these two these two overgrown kittens are about to attack this unsuspecting warrior here. So something is about to attack Sir Rousdower. That's how I'm perceiving, or at least interpreting this card. Now, is actual cats? Probably not. Don't remember that from Final Sacrifice. But this is a dark fantasy. Maybe he is some kind of monster. But he just dealt with a couple of, well, he slipped by a couple of the cultists. So something is about to attack him from behind, surprise him. Now, let's see if Rousdower can withstand this incoming attack, if it is a surprise attack. So looking at our card here, let's see. There's the Wilds, gruff protector of the innocent. He has a false hope, brings his family back. Remember, there is that little subplot that if Rousdower, he has a false hope that if he finds the city, it's a small delusion, he'd probably bring his family back. Small delusion, it's like kind of extended high concept. It's a sub fate, or it's a sub aspect of kind of house ruling into this. So let's get back to where we left off. So the card we drew, it's wild, ambush, attack, We do have creatures in there. So let's read the quote. It was just a trick of the light. Dallas muttered to himself. I've been patrolling alone too long. Gotta stop jumping at shadows. Ah, that's a great little addition to this. I gotta stop jumping at shadows. He thinks he sees something that could be a threat, that could attack him. So as Rousdower is at the door, perhaps trying to figure out if the door is unlocked, if he's just able to open, I think something startles him. Maybe it is a stray cat. We can take the card literally, not simply figuratively. I think it actually is a cat. So as Rousdower is pondering, should he go through the back? Should he just walk to the front door? Should he go up top? Should he sneak in through a window, find another entrance? I think, along with my little guest star here, Cat, kind of behind me here. I got two cats, by the way, which that's ironic. The card has two felines. I think a stray cat startles him. Now, as simple as this might be, we're spending a lot of time on this cat thing. I think this might trigger a sound for him to get startled. So he's at the front door. He is tempting. He's thinking about what to do. Stray cat busts through not the door, but like through an alley or out an alleyway, kicks over a can or some tins and falls, and it makes a noise. So these stray cats, the noise it makes will alert the guards that he just went through. Okay, so that's what this card, as I'm seeing it. So I am going to take it literally, while also taking the message for the situation. So cats startle Rousdower, while also a noise, and the two guards, or I should say cultists, get alerted. This will give, I'm thinking the cultists are probably maybe 15 plus yards away. So this will give chance a Rousdower a chance. He's smart enough to know that they've heard that sound. He's not going to let it slide. So he's going to sneak the back. It will force him to reroute and go around. So Rousdower will go around the building, this harbor, this probably the dock master's quarters, harbor master, and he will go around it. So I think this won't be an opposing roll because the cultists probably turn around and they hear the noise. They get suspicious and they will turn and walk in the direction of Rousdower, but Rousdower is going to roll to see if he can run around the corner because there is small risk here. I'll keep it at 2. So we will roll for this, okay? Let's grab our dice and let's see if we have anything that can assist with this roll. Reluctant hero, haunted by fire, knows the wild, gruff protector. Stunt-wise, nothing really. Seen cults before, +2 in dealing with cultists. Let's use that stunt. He is dealing with the cultists. So I'm going to do a +2 as difficulty. Dexterity is our um, ability we're using here. So we have +4 total. Oh, that was bad. So that's 4 minus 3 is 1. And our difficulty was 2. So we are short 1. So it's a fail. It is a standard fail, and there is a major cost. Okay, so as Rousdower attempts to turn the corner, let's draw a card to see what happens. I'm thinking maybe there's a fence in the way, or there's a wall, or there's someone else there, or the guards see him, so he's not fast enough to sneak. Let's draw a card to see what happens. I'll draw a card here. We'll get rid of this card. Okay, so I have to remember to put in the roll here. So sneak away was our objective, and the difficulty was +2. We rolled a total of, well, it was a total of 1. Okay, so that was a fail. Fail. Okay, I've drawn this card plenty of times before in other earlier videos. Spray, spark spray. So let's see what it says. You see this rock grinder, one step closer, and it'll be a face grinder. Something gets in his way, a blinding light. We can take the card for its face value of the actual picture. Something blinds him or gets in his way. I'm thinking maybe it's like a lighthouse in the distance. I don't know if that can actually blind someone at that height. Or it startles him or surprises him. Or it's someone with a torch or a lantern. Maybe it is the harbor master. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it is someone that's not part of the cult. It's just a dock, um, an employee of the dock of the harbor master, quartermaster, what do you want to call it? I think it's the harbor master. It's late at night. I'm thinking that I'm so when I haven't really defined or set what time of day it is. We're not really tracking the specifics like that, so I'm thinking it's nighttime. It's the harbor master. He's holding the lantern, and he jumps, runs into, like collides with Rowsdower. So the dockmaster runs into Rowsdower. So I'll keep calling it harbor master with his lantern. Yeah, collides into Rowsdower. It's just bad timing. So Rowsdower. All right. And with that being said, I'm thinking of, is this harbor master, is he part of the cult? Does Satoris have a grip on this area in town to have some kind of iron grip on the dock itself? Maybe he has some kind of criminal empire that runs this part of town, like some transportation of illegal goods and weapons and ammunition. Well, bows and arrows. I don't really have an inch of this gunpowder yet. But I'm thinking that he does have some kind of obvious influence over this. So let's roll the D100 and ask for the chance if this harbor master is part of the cult or he's just an innocent bystander who gets in the way. So this question will be part of cult, question mark. I'm gonna do 50-50. I just don't really know. So we'll square that off. And our result is, remember, it has to be 50 or less for it to be true. And if it's a strong yes, 10 or less, then he's going to turn him in instantly. Nope, that's a negative. He is not part of the cult. He is just a standard harbor master. Okay, so as Rowsdower bumps into the harbor master, I think there's going to be a little scuffle going on, and the guard or the harbor master will react as such. Let's see. He makes quite the mess, actually. So this card here, this is the card. Maybe I should show you guys a little closer. It is called I'm going to mispronounce this, the Primarch. Cavu Primarch. Let's see. It's more detailed than anything, but I see a mess here. So this giant creature could be the Harbor Master. We can really reduce the significance here of the actual imagery. So the Harbor Master collides into Rowsdower, and the lantern drops to the floor. The floor is obviously wooden, and a spark flame, fire sparks. So he collides. The harbor master is very clumsy. He falls back like a buffoon. The lantern drops, and it breaks with the fuel and the fire catching fire on the ground. So let's write that down. So let's see. Lantern drops. The floor, the wooden floor catches fire. We have to remember that. Okay, let's put 2 stars for this. That's rather important. Rowsdower for a second he sees the fire. The harbor master, maybe a much older guy, he's struggling to get up. Rowsdower looks back just to see the two cultists kind of looking over some barrels and crates, like what's going on back there. They see Rowsdower like maybe hunching down really quick, but he did fail the roll. Now the failed roll represented the collision with the harbor master. So I'm trying to think if a roll is required here for Rousdower to be to avoid being seen by the two cultists. I'm going to say yes, but there is going to be a higher difficulty here. There is barrels. There's an obstruction of the sight line between the cultist and Rousdower. Rousdower has that, that kind of that rusty um, coat, poncho looking thing, uh, that worn out cape. Uh, so it's dark, but there's a fire. So there is obviously the contrast of the flame, the flickering flame. So there's a mixed perception here. So let's roll for it and see if Rousdower can avoid being seen, at least seen. We know there's something going on. The cultists get concerned. They see a fire started near their base, near their operation of their base of operations. So they are going to obviously run towards the fire. Maybe they're thinking a cat kicked over a lantern or something, or the harbor master is doing something, causing something happen to the harbor master. So Rouser will turn back, and we're gonna roll to see what Rouser can do here. Is duck out of view, and knowing his character, he's going to help the man up and say he has to get out of here. So let's roll to see with all of this considered. So reluctant hero, this is going to pay to help the old man. So we'll keep this on the side in the shadow realm there. So that's a +2 for the roll. So basically, we have a roll here to avoid, and then help the old man, help old man up. Let's say with everything happening, the fire, um, the two cultists approaching, +4 at least. I'm probably being generous there. So our additions include, we have a +2 from dexterity and a +2 from the aspect. That's a +4. Any stunts here that can help? Uh, Probably not, actually. So we have a +2 that will be the result based on the roll. So let's go ahead and roll them dice against a +4. Okay, great roll. So that's 3. So that's +3, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be 5, 6, 7. It's at least 3 over. So that's a succeed with style, 3 plus. There's an extra benefit. So not only is he able to avoid being seen, but he jumps, or at least he steps out of the way of the flame. Not a huge fire just yet, but it's starting to spread a bit. It's all wood everywhere. And I just, I'm trying to figure out if a lantern could cause a fire. I imagine it could. Correct me if I'm wrong for anyone out there who's an expert on that. Uh, so he helps the old man up. He tells the old man to run, to get out of here, because Rousdower knows it's going to be a fight coming up. So this gives a chance for Rousdower to hide and to sneak attack the two cultists. So the two cultists are they're still a problem. All right, but they're not aware of Rousdower's presence. They don't even know who Rousdower is, probably. Satoris does. Depends if these cult members are like OG members of the club, or they are like new additions. Like they haven't even gone through the traditional entry tournament or something, or challenges or something. So that's also a minor detail to consider. But anyways, he has a chance to hide and sneak attack. So let's set up the scene here. Okay, so the harbor master's gone, and Rousdower hides. He's going to sneak attack. Okay, the guards, the cultists, approach. Right now, they uh, they see the flame, obviously, and they are concerned it's going to spread. So they probably start putting out with their coats or their rags, and they start putting the flame out. Now, while they're doing that, Rouser's going to come in and subdue them. Now, is he a killer? Is he going to kill them? Well, I think so. So Rousdower is going to attack, and let's roll some dice. So they are distracted. They're trying to put out the fire. They're not sure how the fire started, but they're more worried about putting it out. So Rousdower will have an advantage here. Let's do a fixed rating of just a standard +2, and we'll use the seen cultist before, so he knows how they are. That's a +2 for the roll. The +2 there. This will be dexterity because it's kind of a sneak attack. So another +2. And then any aspects here that can help? Probably, I don't think so. Oh, the fire. The fire. That is one of his aspects. So it's his high concept, haunted by fire, regret, questionable judgment. See, I love moments like this. I have to remember to use the aspects even against our characters. So does this, let's spend a fate point to avoid the compel, to resist it. Okay, so spend a fate point to resist the fire, and he can go on with his plan. Okay, so we need to beat a +2 with a +4 flat roll. Here we go. Holy crap. 4 positives. This is huge. That's 8 total over a mere +2. Something really happens here. A huge benefit for Rousdower. So you got to figure that out here. So we got a +4 equals 8. That's huge. That deserves 4 exclamation marks. I'll put a big star here. So something happens here that just really benefits Rousdower. I mean, I'm going to give him a fate point back, but something really helps here. So he subdues the 2 cultists, okay? But there's also something else. Let's draw a card. Oh, the sword. Okay, so it's another card here. The swords to plowshares. Plowshares. The arc of my blade has carved a path of light for the peace that will follow. It's the exile target creature. Control gains life equal to its power. Something helpful. He feels mighty. A boost of confidence. Maybe it's a massive boost, a situational boost we can give Rousdower following this scene upcoming if he goes inside. So not only does he subdue, kill, whatever with these 2 cultists, but something, it helps him with his confidence. He's like, I don't know if he finds a weapon or it's has to do. Oh, it has to do that after in the moment he subdued the 2 cultists, and the fire's been put out. He realizes the fire has not bothered him. He has not. The fire did not get in the way of his task. So it's a boost of morale for him. So I think that's what this huge benefit is. Remember, succeed with style is succeed with added benefit. And the benefit is not only the extra fate point, but it's the fact that he was able to narratively speaking, like story related, he overcome the fear of fire. Maybe temporary boost, perhaps. Let's do a temporary scene boost. I don't think it's worth changing the whole high concept, but I'm gonna do here. So temp boost of a +2 for next action, whatever it may be. Okay, so temp boost. So he subdued them, killed them, whatever, stuffed them, Agent 47 style into a crate or a barrel and pushed them into the sea, whatever he did. Now, he is obviously not going to go through the front door. It's too risky. We'll play it smart, and we're going to roll to see if he can find a way through the back. This would be a simple roll, +2, nothing difficult. So looking look for new entrance or, yeah, new entry into the hideout. The difficulty will be, let's just do a +1 actually. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. So this will be wisdom, which has a +1 on it. And then that's really all I can consider. So let's just roll for it. We need to beat a +1, which I'm sure he can do. There we go. Plus, that's going to be +3, +4 total. So 4. That is succeed with style. So another benefit. So he finds entry, and the card will be the benefit. I'm going to keep that boost until next time. So what we have here, I will not even try to pronounce that. Trying to get a little closer look here. It looks like, oh, he has a height advantage. This character is on top of some branches up in the trees. So the entrance is up top. So it's not like a back door or anything or the side window. It's going to be up top. So he found a pipe to climb. He's going up top. He's acting like a rogue, even though he's not a rogue. And he's on top of the building, and he finds like a maybe a skylight or some broken panel of wood to get inside. So he's on the roof, and there's a way in. All right, and he's looking in the this entry point in the roof. I'm thinking it's a broken roof piece of wood. He's going to break it off. Doesn't take much strength. Yeah, let's roll +8 with that. And he looks down inside, and I think the extra benefit, here's what we're going to do. So this can probably be kind of not a cop out, I'm trying to think of the correct term here. Seems too convenient, but I'm going to do it for Rowsdower. I'm going to spend a fate point to modify or to add this little narrative adjustment, this little benefit for Rowsdower. So what he's looking into is a captive, an individual who's captured, tied up, and probably on a chair, knocked out, or unconscious, or at least in the corner of a padded cell, not a padded cell, a cell. But this is someone he recognizes. So he sees he sees an old friend, and this is going to be Thomas McGregor. So anybody out there who is familiar, The Final Sacrifice, well, if you've seen the episode from Mystery Science Theater, or at least the movie itself, the opening scene is Thomas McGregor. He's running from the cult, and he gets killed via the old rifle. So Thomas McGregor is the father of Troy McGregor, who's the main character of The Final Sacrifice. He's the kid, the scrawny kid who they always make fun of in the movie. His father was Thomas McGregor. Thomas McGregor was an archaeologist who discovered the map or had the map, hid it, and Sartorius killed him for taking the map, whatever the backstory was. Mike Pepper talked about it with the trio, with Rowsdower and Troy McGregor in the movie. But what I'm doing here is changing it to where it's not the son, it's the father. And he's captured by Sartorius' group. And we don't know why. So I'm going to end this episode with Rowsdower kind of peeling off this piece of the roof, this roof tile, and he can see he's surprised to see Thomas Rowsdower down below in the room. And just picture the camera zooming in on Rowsdower's face and also zooming in on Thomas McGregor. And that's where we'll cut to black. Okay? That's where we'll leave off. So I hope you enjoyed. We're I want to introduce this character at some point, but that was what my little um, I hinted that, I believe I did in the earlier episodes, where I had a huge idea about kind of changing up the usual, changing up the movie setup from The Final Sacrifice, where it's Troy, to now being the perspective of Rowsdower and a new character, or an older character who was never really utilized, and that's going to be it. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed as always. Please feel free to subscribe, like, share, and comment, and I'll see you next time.